folk, and all other nocturnal beings. Welcome to Season 3's Q&A of Tabletop Tiddies, a queer and feminist live TTRPG actual play show run entirely by people of marginalized genders. My name is Charlene Bear, and I'll be your... I don't know for tonight. My pronouns are she, they, and you can call me Char. Before we get into the episode, we do want to acknowledge the colonial history of Canada and how Canada has and continues to take from Indigenous people. The effects of colonization are still felt to this day, and we acknowledge this episode is being recorded on the stolen lands of the Cheyenne, Anishinaabe, Chippewa, Haudenosaunee, Wendat, Semiahmoo, Kaitzi, Kwantlen, Musqueam, Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, and Coast Salish First Nations. If you would like to know more about the effects of colonization and support some Indigenous charities and organizations, you can go to the resources page on our website at tabletoptiddies.com/resources. The Season 3 Titty Committee is ready to go.
Oh my goodness. Emily Matchette just posted in our chat marginalized genders with marginal capitalized and I mean very happy.
We never made that joke before.
I don't know.
Wow.
But hey everybody, my name is Rachel Theilade. My pronouns are she, her, and I played Iris in Escaping Tessera, and I also played Evelyn Stormloft in Tabletop Tiddies. Pronouns were also both of them she, her, so yeah. Hi.
Hi. My name's Katrina. You can also call me Kat. Tonight I will be playing myself, but otherwise throughout the season I was on Escaping Tessera as Chloe Wright / Dana Strongaid, our barbarian path of the wild magic.
Hi, my TV just came back to life and I'm trying to turn it off.
Oh my.
Oh my God.
And it's not working. Anyway, I'm Casper with the haunted TV. So my pronouns are they, them. I played Belgium Jerry in, I was going to say Escaping Tessera, but that was wrong. I played Belgium Jerry in Vampire, and then I played, who did I play? Waverly and Weatherly in Escaping Tessera. Yeah, I'm doing great, guys.
You had a long day.
Yeah, I drove here from. Yeah, it's been a day.
Hello, my name is Kelly. My pronouns are they, them. I was the storyteller of Titties by Night, and I played Bara Close, who was playing Barasval, the wizard / rogue on Escaping Tessera.
Dab. Hi, I'm Dare. Pronouns she, they, they. I played in our lovely game of Titties by Night, the ever lovely Leon Cavallo, the he, they, they. I'm not going to do the whole spiel.
No!
Do you want me to hit the whole spiel? I can
Yes.
Do it.
My name is Dare. Pronouns she, they, they. And in Titties by Night, I played Leon Cavallo, the he, they, they. The Toreador you all adore, who will leave you wanting more. I'm going to throw it over to Emily.
Yay, I'm so happy. Hello, my name is Emily Matchette. I use any pronouns. And damn it, can't remember the name of who I guessed it as on Escaping Tessera, and that entire time I was
Lydiana
Sharpclaw. I opened like the notes. I went in the YouTube descriptions. I was like, I can't find the goddamn name anywhere. I played Lydiana Sharpclaw when I guessed it on Escaping Tessera, and I also played Imogen White on Titties by Night.
I'm trying to
Past tense.
Oh no.
Oh no.
If you are joining us live on Twitch, this is your reminder to hit that subscribe button because you get one free if you have Amazon Prime. Otherwise, it's like, I don't know, $7, and it supports the titties, which are great because we want to pay people for all the hard work that they do on the show. I always try and make this a little bit funny, but it is a lot of work. And this is our last episode before we do fun holiday things and other bonus content over on our Patreon. So subscribe and support us.
Yeah, these titties are heavy.
Yeah. And plus, you get really cool emotes that are in the chat right now. You too can be Marge's favorite if you are a subscriber. Content warnings for today. This is going to be spoiler full for both the second season of Tiddies by Night and the third season of the D&D show, which for this season was Escaping Tessera. If you haven't finished those, I don't know what might come up because we will be taking questions from chat, as well as the Patreon prioritized questions and those from social media that we gathered. So anything can happen. Be prepared. And our first question, if we're just jumping right in here, is from a patron, Noblekind92. Our Patreon producer asks, I DM'd for the first time a few days ago. While everyone had fun, I feel like I could have better set their expectations before we started. Thing is, I didn't want to say too much for fear of spoilers. How much do you tell your players before you start a session?
Not a damn thing. Sorry. They tell us nothing.
I'll let Kelly start with this one.
I mean, with TBN, it's interesting because like I don't plan out the entire season ahead of time. I plan like the arcs. So it's less me telling them what's going to happen and asking what they want to do and then building stuff from there. When all of you were like starting, I was like, hey, it's in Victorian London. Go from there. Vampires and stuff. So I feel, I don't know. I feel like I don't really have much to spoil because you're all so chaotic that I don't know what's going to happen by the end of the chapter. I got nothing.
Eyebrows.
Yeah, I would say in general, I mean, it's different for a streamed game versus a home game when we have timelines that we have to hit, especially if a guest is coming in the next episode. So if I have specific markers that need to happen, I always communicate that. I am also a big fan of communicating before an episode if I know that touchy subjects might come up in terms of consent. So that's always really, really important. I feel like over the seasons, in season 1, I was very much of the similar mindset of like, I can't ruin the story for people before we dive into a session. And I'm a bit more looser with it now if I want folks to get excited or whatever. But in general, I feel like I try and find a happy medium of keeping some surprises in, but giving a general like arc if needed. But I feel like everyone is so great. All the players on Tiddies are so great about creating a story. And I love letting, like Kelly said, letting the cast run with what's happening on screen for sure.
I whenever you do give us like, hey, we need to get to a certain point at the end of this, you don't spoil it though. You're like, I need to, guys, you have to hit the checkpoint so we can move on to the next thing. Cause that's what it is.
Yeah. I think the most you'll ever say is like, I'm going to do a lot of talking at the end of this episode, so don't interrupt me, please. And then do the thing. And we don't know what's going to be said. We don't know what's going to happen. We just know there's going to be a whole like lore dump at the end. And we're like, okay, I'm ready for it. Let's go. Like,
Yeah.
To speak to like session things as well, I GM home games and stuff all the time. I do one every Tuesday. That's why you don't see me on Tessera. But one of the things I do consider is I often will do sort of a whatever my cultural touchstones were for whatever I was working on. Like if I was inspired by a certain piece of music or media, I will normally let my party know, like, hey, just I've been looking at this thing. If you want helpful hints that might give you some advice, look into this show. I've been watching the show Andor a lot, and that's been really inspiring a lot of what I've been doing for my home stuff. So I've been doing a lot of music from that game. Like here's a general vibe tone setter, and then just working off of Stars and Wishes is a thing I tend to do in my home games as well. Because yeah, I can, if people want more RP, as someone who I like a little bit of time to not have to talk, I will give you all the RP you need. Let me eat a snack.
Damn, I'm stealing that now. I'm going to tell all of you, go watch this show, go listen to this music. That's awesome.
Honestly rad, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that I love, like coming into this, that we've done that I brought to other shows was the Stars and Wishes. Like, I guest on other channels, and like I'm like, did you like after the first session? I'm like, y'all want to do a Stars and Wishes? And they're like, what's that? And I'm like, ooh, let me tell ya. And I want to DM eventually. So like I like the idea of just getting feedback. Like I'm a writer, so I just love feedback, and the opportunity to give it and get it is just love that. So yeah, Stars and Wishes are great.
If anyone doesn't know, Stars and Wishes, I don't know if we've talked about it like live before. Have we? Maybe? I don't
It's
know.
always good to say it again.
We're about to do it now.
We're gonna do it now. And just after we stream, we always do Stars and Wishes, so everyone gets a chance to say something that they thought went really well, or like, and it can be super general or it can be really specific. And then a wish for like something super broad, or so there's like it's just a wish or something super specific. Yeah, I use Stars and Wishes all the time, like as a teacher. And whenever I've DM'd, it's mostly been for like teenagers, and I use it with them as well, and it's really great. That face. Yeah,
Gross.
they're okay. They do wild shit though. Like, you think we're chaotic?
Horrifying.
Fuck y'all. But yeah. No.
Anyone else have any last comments before I go to the next question?
I'd say that I have never DM'd, and I have so much respect for people who want to DM, have the passion, inspiration to do it, and are willing to lead the bumbling bumbleheads that are us into a game so that we can have fun. You do a lot of work for us, so kudos to all the DMs out there.
Yeah, big same.
This next question is for Sara, who could not join us today, but they did give us a reply, so you won't be left wanting. Or maybe you will, depending on what Sara wrote down. I really enjoyed the dynamics between Maggie and Jenny. How much of your relationship arc did you have planned out ahead of time? Are Jenny and Maggie back together?
I need to know.
Yeah, no, we all need to know. Yeah, so so my name is Casper. My pronouns are they, them. I am going to be playing the role of Sara, pronouns. I'm not doing a Sara impression, I'm sorry.
That's fair. I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed.
That's fine. I'm used to it. I had a whole other arc planned originally. The arc was originally planned to be me dealing with me and Maggie going to school out of town and making her leave her friends behind. But then that time jump happened, and it threw the whole idea into the lurch. And she conveniently did not answer the second half of that freaking question. Nice. We will never know.
Yeah. Sara was very big about not having a set in stone answer for that question. So do with that what you will.
Can I just take a poll? Who here thinks that they're together?
Yo, write some fan fiction.
That's like that. Think of the stories you can tell, like
All
whatever comes after you. Like, hey, my partner disappeared for like a year into a video game, came back, and the first thing that she did was come to my house. Like, that's a great How I Met Your Mother.
That's a lifetime
Tabletop
movie.
Tiddies fan fiction. That's all I want.
We'll get there.
We don't ask for much.
We don't ask for much.
I want fan art. I just want all the fan art.
Fan art I'm okay with. Fan fiction makes me anxious.
Fiction of your character. Someone who has some, it's wild. It is a wild thing.
I'm afraid.
I want Belgium Jerry fan fiction.
Yeah, I'm not afraid. Send every fanfic to me.
I want it.
I'll read it.
So if someone could write the epic of Imogen and Travis as a fanfiction, that would be fucking phenomenal. Because I don't want to write it, so someone else.
It's gonna get real horny, real fast.
But no one's gonna do anything about it for about 50 episodes.
All right.
That's what we call slow burn and mutual pining.
Interior, stables, night.
And there was only one bed.
Oh no!
Oh, no
was,
bed. Haystack.
Yeah, hay bales for sure.
A few more relationships happened in the shows this season. Of course, we cannot forget Dan and that hag.
We could though. We maybe should though.
And I figured too, Rachel and Kelly, you might want to answer this question too.
Yeah. I think for us, we definitely planned the relationship ahead of time. We definitely wanted to explore that. I can't remember if we planned the arc exactly. I think we knew where we wanted to get to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anything else was planned about it because we had no idea how Char was going to pace the episodes or anything like that. So
Yeah. I think
it was very, like,
every episode was like, we messaged each other afterwards and we're like, is now a good time? Is now a good time? Is now a good time?
It's like, when are you doing your character thing? Because I don't want to jump on that and
Yeah,
then
I'll
like,
do mine.
overshadow
All right.
it. Yeah. That was literally most of our DMs at that point.
I wasn't too sure when it was going to happen or like to what extent that conversation would be, but we just rolled with it and I think it worked out good.
I think so.
Yeah.
It warms my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, those are two cute, awkward lesbians.
Yeah. They sure are.
Emily asks a question. Thank you, Emily.
Wow. Thanks.
Do you
Em.
have it in front of you? Do you want to read your question?
Yeah.
Just read your own question.
I would love to know, for everyone, if you had to play one of the other characters on Escaping Tessera and or Tiddies by Night, which character would you want to play, and why is it Belgium Jerry?
Well, I guess we have Emily's answer.
Oh no!
No, but why?
No, sorry, Rat. Let's just be real.
Honestly,
Rat just like
Psychopath.
shows up, is gross, and then leaves.
I was so excited. I was like, I'm gonna answer first, and I'm gonna
Sorry.
take those answers so that I don't
Damn it,
have to do
Emily.
unoriginal. Start the jury train going. I feel like I'm gonna pick one of each. For TBN, yeah, let's be real. I do a lot of the clipping for our reels and some of the other vids that we share, and it was hard to not see that Jerry was getting a lot of high acclaims, just being a silly. I'm a big fan of bing bongs, you know. Bing bongs are my kind of characters. I applaud the people that drive the story forward, but I'm here for the bing bongs. And for Tessera, I have to say I would want to play Bera simply to see if Bera would roll maybe a little bit better in my hands.
No.
You gotta
No.
shit. And also because it's a very cool character. But
No, but like if you get Bear's character with Kat's roles, that would have been a completely different campaign.
yes,
we would
absolutely.
have fought two beholders at the end.
Oh my god.
And yet, Kelly, you don't use D&D Beyond to roll. You use your
Once in a
live
while.
dice.
If I have to roll a lot of dice, I use D&D Beyond. But yeah, I used my dice and they got... I don't know who saw on social media. I did a full, like, summoning ritual to try to fix my dice. And I think it actually worked.
It
Did.
did.
I think you did a lot better.
Yeah.
on that last
the
episode.
finale, the final
Yeah,
exact
final episode.
When it counted, you pulled
The
it
one
out.
that mattered. Let's be
Yeah,
real. That's
that's
the
the
one
big
that
one.
was like you could die.
Yeah.
We didn't die.
I'll do mine. I mean, y'all know I love playing a complicated character. Both Asher and Bera, I had to do spreadsheets on what to do next every round. So I would 100% play Waverly or Weatherly or whatever their name was. Because a shifter, lycanthrope, blood hunter is like every action economy button is filled.
Multi-class,
yeah.
Just why not?
Yeah, Ranger, eventually Ranger, maybe. Perfect.
I have a type, Dare. Don't give me that look.
You knew it was for you to not say a word.
And for TBN, I would actually like to play Imogen because I like playing support characters as well, and I think playing the incredibly split person of like, I am Irish Catholic and want to be a good girl, and I'm so peaceful and humble, but also I have a monster inside of me that wants to eat people, is a very cool thing to play. Plus, I think I do a good Irish accent.
Hashtag relatable. Am I right? Am I right, ladies?
So I was like, that's not a self-insert at all.
Definitely. Oh, you go ahead, Casper. Casper. Go.
I was just gonna say, since I can't pick Waverly or Belgium Cherry, I honestly would probably want to play the captain, because I think what Emily, not Emily, sorry, that's the wrong person, Sara, sorry, what Sara did with that character, like how she built that character was interesting, because it was just like an awkward person in this like tank. It's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, and then like that evolution of like, I got this. It's like, hold my books, I got this. Just either that or play Dan, because Dan seems like a bunch of fun. That's for Escaping Tessera. For TBN, I am not charming enough to play Leon. But that would be something to try.
That's so funny because I find you're so charming as Jerry.
It's true.
You're so charismatic.
Yes, yeah.
It's
Jerry's
himbo charm versus scumbag charm.
Yeah.
That's true. Why not both?
Yeah.
both is good.
Yeah. These are my two boyfriends.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Because I don't see myself as charming. I just like Jerry is just a big ass teddy bear. And the fact that like, yes, he will maul you, but if you're cute, he'll leave you alone. He's just cuddles.
That's pretty charming.
That's pretty charming. Yeah.
Thank you.
I think I'm gonna say, like, I was gonna say I wanted to play Imogen because I really had a great time being the healer in Escaping Tessera. Like, I think that is a really fun, it's just fun because I hadn't really done that before. And turns out I really like it. But also I can't do an Irish accent to save my life, so it's not gonna happen. But also I love big heart, head empty vibes, so that's kind of my thing.
Big heart, empty head.
Which is why I think my Escaping Tessera one is another cop out, because I think Dan is wild and wild magic. That's one of the main reasons I would want to play Dan, is because the like rolling wild magic just seems like such a freaking blast.
And another Barbarian.
I that's why it's a cop out, because I've already been a Barbarian once, but hey, what the heck, right? But to not just copy and say I want to play Imogen, I think I'd want to dabble and live in that Toreador life. I'd want to play Leon, because I feel like Evelyn's kind of already can be a bit charming at times to contrast her appearance. So,
I love the Leon love, honestly. For Tessera, I was also thinking, funnily enough, Casper, same brain, the captain. I do, as a person who is very large and at my core very soft and very, very soft and sweet and afraid, I think it would be fun to play a character that is much more my like dare off camera. And in terms of TBN, I was actually going to say Evelyn, because Evelyn is, I think, would be, I think, the most challenging, because there's a lot more of not ruthless, but a lot more of wanting to push authority in a way that Leon never would. Leon is trying to skate by on nothing more than like charm, and like cannot back it up. I'm just a little guy. It's my birthday. I'm a little guy.
little guy.
And like I think it would be very fun to play that sort of a power player who actually has power.
Honestly,
I've
playing
thought about
Evelyn
this
is
a lot.
terrifying. Every day I'm like, oh God, I got a politics? Fuck, what have I done? What have I done?
Yo, Emily, what are your answers though, for real?
I think for. Let me think. I wrote the question, but I wasn't expecting to actually answer it. No, I'm kidding. I think I would want to play. Oh my god, the name is escaping me. Rachel, your character on.
Oh, Iris. Is that
Iris,
right? Or
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm assuming you're talking about D&D.
Yeah. Well, we can play a TBN. Who are you?
Wow, you leave already and you forget us all.
I think Iris, because I really love the art for her, and B, I enjoy being the healer in TBN, like that kind of a role. Also, I just love druids. It's on my list to play again at some point. And then TBN, I do love Jerry. I do love a goofball, a bing bong as Cap. But
It's my new favorite way of describing it.
Right?
Bing bongs. I know, because I am one.
But I do also really love gadgets, and I feel like I would also love like Octavia because of that. I love a gadget.
Throw back
And,
to
like,
Steve.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
shit! Right. Yeah.
Octavia is kind of artificery.
That's
Yeah.
what I heard. Okay. I do the same thing over and over again. Recycle it. I'm predictable. Okay. Yes.
Listen, I said I wanted to play a barbarian again, so like, come on.
Stop everything. I want to play Varney. There it is. All right, I'm done.
Yeah, that's fair. I want to play Dracula. There you go. There's my real answer.
That was my answer.
Oh no! Wait, nobody wants to play Sydney?
No.
Actually, that would be
Actually, yeah.
honestly a vibe. That would be such a vibe.
Disclaimer of everything. Every time fucking Sydney Jones showed up, I was like, what the fuck? But Emily loves Sydney Jones. Lives for Sydney Jones. Imogen fucking can't stand the dude. Emily loves him.
It's just so funny because I feel like every time that man showed up in Rachel's head, there was wouldn't it be really funny if Sydney Jones just showed up right now? And then wow, he's just there, and I'm like,
Sydney
what
Jones
the
is
fuck?
never actually
Summoned.
planned. Kelly has a special Sydney Jones dice.
Kate,
That's
it's
like
Is it gonna
10
happen today?
here's the thing. It's super easy to make an NPC that everyone wants to adopt. Like, you put a little gremlin child and everyone's like, this is my son now. We're taking him everywhere. It's very hard to make a character that everybody in canon is like, I hate this person, and I really hope they never show up again.
And then they always show up.
Yeah, and I love that. He was my weapon.
So good.
Shar, I think you were the last.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I unironically was gonna say Dracula specifically because
Good.
I just want to be able to like explode into a swarm of bats, and I feel like that's something that he could do. But otherwise, every time I play Vampire the Masquerade, I always want to get the ability of the like swarm infestation. And I originally was planning on having that with Octavia, but it just didn't work out with her arc. So I could always touch in with a bit of Evelyn. That'd be nice.
We
Check out
had that
these.
conversation actually when we were like, what am I gonna take from this Diablerie? And then I think I was like, I really want the Unliving Hive because that just is sick. And then Kelly was just like, Char's gonna be so jealous. See what she wanted to do.
Yeah, totally. And then for D&D, I would want to play Emily's guest character. I love my first ever D&D character was a rogue, and I didn't get to play much of them. And I would love to get to explore that class more because it's so cool to do so much damage from the shadows.
Rogues are fucking sick.
Yeah, so that's what I would pick.
Oh yeah.
Yay.
Any last comments? Good to move on.
All the characters are amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
honestly,
that's
let's
my last
just
thing.
like draw names out of a hat, play a session, and see what happens.
Be like, yo, that feels great.
Fun.
That would be cool.
That would be pretty cool.
Body swap
I do
episode.
love the theme of this group of players liking strong women characters.
Yeah.
Hi, here I am.
Mommy, sorry, mommy.
Let me tell you a little NPC named Anne.
Yeah, Dare, you want to talk about that?
What about big lady? Big woman?
Give me an hour,
love a big
and I'll talk about.
Remember we didn't know
women.
her name was, and in the notes she was just big lady.
The big
Big lady.
woman.
I love
Big woman,
I
and
one
then
note
and on her
for-
page.
Was I love her? These were my one thing. Big woman, I love her.
That's
But
it.
for like 3 weeks.
Iconic.
I just went on a wild tangent because Shar, when you said about the swarm of bats, I was like, yeah, every time we watch League of Extraordinary Gentlemen and that one character turns into or like gets herself picked up by the bats, you're like, I want to play this character. And then I was like, what was her name? And I Googled
Wilhelmina.
it. It's Wilhelmina. That's who she's based.
Yeah, she's Wilhelmina
Yeah.
Harker.
I didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
no, she's literally
That's
that.
why
we can talk about League of
it
Extraordinary
is
Gentlemen
she.
later.
I should have just put her in. Jonathan Harker, who?
No, for real. That's the Wilhelmina that I thought. Like when you introduced it, that's where my brain went, and I was like, "How did he get with her?"
All right, spoilers for season 3. I'm putting this character in.
Then maybe I could finally get that ability. Next question. Lance Shintz asks, so Escaping Tessera is over? The season is over? I am confused. Some of the Twitter posts said it was a season finale, and some say the series is over. If it's completely over, what happens next? Great ending either way. By the way, you and the cast told a great story. Oh.
Thank you.
Oh, danke.
Sorry for the confusion. Tabletop Tiddies is definitely not going away. We'll talk more about that later. But
Can't
usually,
get rid of us.
yeah.
Stuck with us now.
I will say that like as a season starts to wrap up, it's usually our like not policy, but like a standard of ours to check in with the players on like, are you feeling like you want to continue with these characters and this plot? Are we wanting to maybe try something new? And that sort of discussion is still going on. So I decided to leave Escaping Tessera with a bow tied around it that can sort of be gently undone if we want to do a second part of Tessera, or if we want to move on to a new D&D story. And I'll let Kelly talk more about DBN.
Sure, but
And
one
also-
sec. Our other cast member just woke up.
Oh,
Buddy.
show me the cat.
You've got Christmas bells.
Christmas cat. Oh,
Ba, ba,
this
ba,
is my favorite cast member. I
Yeah.
will make Buddy Instagram famous for sure. I will make it happen.
I'm sorry.
I changed
Rose
my
is
answer
offended.
to the previous question. I want to play Buddy.
Okay, wait. Introduce. I feel like Casper, you should introduce your puppy.
Yeah.
Her name is Rose, and
No.
she is always in the background of every session because we share a bed.
So sweet.
Thanks for that.
So got a
Yeah.
nice little vest on or sweater on. Love
Yeah, it's winter, so she's wearing her skull sweater.
Nice.
that. Aw.
Excellent.
As for me answering the question, everyone seems really hyped to play more vampires, so I think we're definitely doing more vampire.
Yeah.
Part of me, like, I don't know, I'm really excited to get away from Vampire the Masquerade lore. Trying on not to spoil too much of the final episode of TBN, but like we definitely made a dramatic change that is kind of skewing away from the established Vampire the Masquerade lore, and I'm very excited to explore that more because I've always sort of felt like I need to exist within some realm of being canon to be valid in the family, which is completely absurd. And even like
That's society.
yeah.
No.
Right, Buddy?
Yeah. So I think season 3 we're just gonna get wild with it and do our own thing, which will be exciting. You know.
Hell yeah.
So wait, the short answer is we're waiting for Netflix to renew the second season of Escaping Tessera, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And we can't play vampire until First Kill gets renewed.
Oh, okay.
That's
so
sad
We're
because that'll never
playing
happen.
Vampire. It was nice playing with y'all. Though.
Yeah,
My
bye.
Poor
bad.
Casper. I could feel the pain on their face.
Although she couldn't be here today, she did want to also ask a question. This is from Sara Mayfield. What was the best Nat 20 and worst Nat 1 of the season?
Oh my God.
And I'm throwing this question to start with Rachel.
There were so many. The only thing that popped into my head, because I can't think of like all of them to like compare them all. The Nat 1 that pops into my head was the escaping Tessera going into the cave with that undead, what was it called? The dragon thingy?
Remirez?
Oh, the Remirez.
There you go, the Remirez.
Yeah.
When they rolled in that one and then woke it up. And then we had the
that's pretty
cliffhanger for that
good.
entire week being like, oh my God, they're gonna die.
That was very good.
Actually going to die.
We got
High five,
really
Kelly.
good
We
art
did
from
good.
that.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we were fine.
But we almost died. I can't think of Nat 20 because there's been a lot of the Nat 20s, and I feel like all of them are just Dan doing a fuck ton of damage.
Wailing
You're
on
welcome.
himself.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. I mean,
Good
thank
game.
you, D&D Beyond. for
I'll be
sometimes-
selfish, I guess, and say the best Nat 20 for me was like one of the Nat 20s where Willow just smooshed a dude, straight up just stepped on a dude and just insta-killed them.
Yeah, that was cool.
I don't understand this question. What the fuck's a nat 20?
So sad. That's very sad.
You'll
Vampire-
understand later.
Vampire doesn't have D20s, but my worst Nat 1 was when I ate a priest. So,
Oh.
I'm gonna say that one for me.
The Irish Catholic
Yeah.
failing the role. Devouring
First time
a priest.
eating a person.
Yeah.
It's a priest.
Not great.
Cheers.
Yeah, can I say my worst Nat 20 was in Vampire? Like, it wasn't a Nat 20, but I had like a double-digit number of successes, and I ate everybody.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh
ate.
yeah, you destroyed everyone Evelyn had ever hired ever. That's right. I do.
Not
remember
just
that.
Evelyn, not just Evelyn's people. I destroyed
Everyone.
everybody.
Everyone in
and I
the
was
room
like,
was just dead.
It was a massacre. Yeah.
I was like,
But on the flip
maybe
side,
fear success, honestly.
the flip side, you did punch off Valentina's head, which is pretty sweet.
Oh, no, you exploded, Valentina.
Oh, that's right.
I
No, sorry, her head didn't
exploded
fly off. She
Valentina.
just exploded,
Yeah.
which was
Yeah.
pretty sweet.
I exploded Valentina. I didn't get to punch off Dracula's head, not yet, anyway.
I thought you
I
liked
can't say what I'm gonna
Dracula.
say.
I
No.
do like.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I'm confused. Oh,
I know, it's
wait
just-
a minute.
I know where you are.
I feel like both of us were like,
Sorry, a second. Rachel
all
EXE is
of
not
you.
working.
I still need to make
All
that
of
emote.
Oh my! Except
What
for
happens
Cat.
in-
Cat's the only one.
What happens in Transylvania?
Oh my god!
My favorite
it's
nat...
never going just because of that.
Is Transylvania the Vegas of this campaign?
Apparently.
Dracula setting up a casino. Real quick, my favorite nat one was the heist, or the not even a heist, the robbery that I did in.
I was gonna say
Oh, I
that too.
forgot
How
about
do we not do
that.
that
'Cause,
one?
like,
That's so
Oh
good.
my god.
Like the week before, I was telling Shar all my plans because I wanted the scene to go well. I was like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm using this. I'm doing this. Blah 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 blah. First roll I have to do nat one. Throw some smoke in. Nat one. I have to use my new fancy lockpick to open the thing and steal all these items. I
my
run
God.
down and like the whole thing went bonkers
I think
because I just couldn't
that went-
roll.
I think that started to go badly when you said the sentence. I want the scene to go well.
Plus 9 stealth on this character. Plus 9, and I did not roll a double digit.
Yeah,
Feels bad.
That's
it's,
wild.
not great.
Any standouts for you, Dare?
I don't make mistakes or fail, so it was really hard to think of that one.
Wow.
I did get shot in the best ones, but I didn't see it happen. I wasn't ready for it. I think my favorite success was me not bungling talking to Anne, because if I remember correctly, I did have to roll to not mess up talking to pretty big women, and I succeeded. and now we're dating in that game. So like that was, my best called shot. I
don't know if it would have been a success or a fail, but when you said girlfriend really early,
Yeah.
You were like,
I said
you
love.
love.
I said the word love.
I was like, but that wasn't rolled. Oh no, I don't know if it was a success
That
or a
wasn't
fail.
roll, but that was terrifying.
All of us were like, am I a part of it?
Kelly just
There was
rolling behind the scenes to see if Anne picked up on it. Just like, yeah, she totally clocked it. Yep.
It was terrifying.
That has
That's
been
a
one of my
ghost.
favorite things. It's just like, I don't know if I'm scaring Leon or Dare with everything that Anne does, but I enjoy it regardless.
We do too.
It's
So-
amazing.
I
had
don't
to
have a
go-
poker face.
I had to go deep diving for this because I had the memory of making a clip very early on of like my first Nat 20 with the group. This being my first season, and I was like, "What? When was it?" I feel like maybe it was the second episode. I don't think it happened while we were humans, but I checked the receipts, and it is when we're in the escape room.
You broke the lock.
I broke the door. Char let me roll
Oh my God,
an
I forgot
investigation
about that
check
too.
to try and solve the puzzle. I did not do a very good job at that, being a ping pong. Then Char allowed me to roll one more time, I think with maybe help with somebody or something. And I went, here's the thing. I'm going to look to see if nobody's looking. And if they're not, I'm just going to hit it because I'm a small little weirdo with aggression. And I did that. And that was my first Nat 20 and I broke the lock. I broke Char's puzzle. The very beginning of me trying to muscle my way out of all of Char's.
It was so on brand for the class you were playing, and I fucking loved that so much.
That's good.
Also, kind of set the tone for how we dealt with Char's puzzles for the rest
Through
of
the rest of the campaign, just
It's
let's
fine.
just lift this grate, guys.
We'll put all of our resources
I
would
in lifting
argue
this grid.
That's always how Tabletop Tiddies deals with puzzles.
Ever
I don't
since
think we've ever
Show
done
Me
a
Only
puzzle
Love.
correctly.
Show me only wealth.
Ever.
I think
should try.
arguably before Show Me Only Wealth was walking into that empty room with all the traps and not checking anything.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so fun.
All of the triggers
Very
on the
good.
floor.
Just kidding.
Again.
Any other standout Nat
Oh,
20s? Crits?
My worst Nat 1 is my internet, because how many times I had issues this season, because it also just popped up on my screen that my internet was unstable. So that's fun.
Oh my
Truly.
goodness.
Oh, it's so funny.
Goodness gracious. But yeah, that's it for me.
All right. Next question is for me. This is from Colleen Davis. Who could that be? Unknown.
No idea.
When you were in talks with Margaret Crone, who played Oshiaria, was there ever a thought to make her evil or turn against the gang? I'm asking because I was always waiting for that moment, lol.
Yeah, because you've never had an NPC turn against the party ever.
Yeah, never. I
You've
mean,
given even our audience members trust issues.
this season, nobody turned on you.
This is true. But now
which
we're just
wasn't-
going to be not expecting it next season because
Or will you always be expecting it? And now it's like,
Yeah, which is funny. I feel like everyone sort of was worried about Oshiaria too. But Margaret was so hell-bent on helping you all that even like when it came to the last episode, she was supposed to not even be there. And she was like, oh, Oshiaria can't leave them. Can I stay? And I was like, oh, yeah, you got it. I
Margaret
never
is
wanted her
amazing.
to turn on you. I always thought that she would just be a really cool ally.
I mean, I
But
asked
you
her.
did
I
give
pointed
her
at
a
her.
girlfriend.
That's true.
I didn't even think about her potentially being evil until Kelly said it in that episode, and
Are
I
you
went,
evil? You gotta tell me.
Why? Why? Also, am I playing D&D wrong? Should I always be assuming Sharon's gonna pick somebody to steal our hearts? and kill us?
we've just been hurt many times. It's fine.
From the vampire end, there's just a lot of trust issues, just in tabletops.
No.
I am a heart open fool, so I feel you. I'm right here with you. I trust everyone.
Oh, just
No,
like, wow.
Kat and I were in the same boat. All we saw was like, oh, Pretty Mermaid. Of course she's nice. And I'm like, the history of mermaids, they're
That's like
not
literally.
nice, but
Yeah.
okay.
Also, Dare, ironically, most of the guests on Vampire, I tell them, like, you're not here to fuck them over. You're like, when Shane came on last year, it was literally just to help Imogen. And then when Varney came on, I was like, just be Varney and hang out and make a scene. Even with Kelly, I didn't tell him to, like, fuck you all over. I was like, just convince them to be on your side. That's it.
Well, technically, he didn't fuck us over.
Yeah, you're still fine. If anything, you're in a better position.
Yet.
I was being good, and then Sara said it for me.
I was trying to like just
I thought about it. Yeah. Yep. Just stop there. Stop.
Imogen.
All right. Another Patreon question. Who wish to remain anonymous? This question is for Dare and Casper. I loved seeing Jerry and Leon in action this season. What was it like joining an ongoing coterie and campaign? And I'll throw this over to you, Dare, first.
Leon is really fun because Leon was a character I made for the express purpose of a one shot or like being on for a few episodes. So like, you know, it was like, all right, I'm going to just play a bitch. Like just someone who's very dramatic and like just sort of have fun with that. So the fun that came for me was the challenge of like, all right, now make them more realized with like, you know, going from guest to full like cast member. And I find that to be really fun. I don't put a lot of thought in my like character's journey or arc early. I sort of let some of the early episodes, I let a lot of the early dice rolling sort of determine how they handle certain things. So I kind of use that as a stepping stone. And I had, you know, 3 episodes of that in season 1 of Tiddies by Night to use as like my jumping off point. So it's very easy to go and like, okay, I'm a disaster in these ways. I'm really skilled in these ways. Here's where these things hit like tension and clash. And I have to say, like, one of the things that made this season really fun for me was honestly having Casper to work off of as Jerry in those first few episodes, because the energy and like the chemistry just hit for me instantly. And I think throw this over to Casper now, see what they have to say.
So this is my first time playing Vampire the Masquerade. Like I've heard of it, but I've never I thought it was a video game. So Kelly basically had to help me a lot. And it's like, all right, so my first question obviously was, can I play a werewolf? And he's like, that doesn't work with this system. I'm like, okay, so what's the closest thing to a werewolf? So that's how I got a gangrel. And yeah, building Jerry, he gave me the year. They gave me the year. And I looked up what was happening as like Kelly was explaining the rest of the like clans and everything. I'm like, oh, that was the year of the first Oktoberfest. That's what happened. And I'm like, and it from there, that's how Belgium Jerry was born. And then similar to Dare, I just picked the name out of thin air, and I was like, all right, this is my wolfy boy who is a vampire and is now living in London. He used to fight a lot. Got it. And then yeah, the early dice rolls and then playing off of Dare's Leon helped shape who Jerry was going to be. And then later on, when he met with the coterie, he would, I would say, again, that epic fail that I had where I murdered literally everybody, was a telling moment for my relationship, like what defined my relationship with Imogen. And then from there, it kind of just branched off to Evelyn and Octavia, because that one, like, that's the turning point where Jerry became a full like character. And then what Kelly did with the backstory was amazing, because I was just like, I had no idea. I knew none of that. I knew his name was Belgium Jerry, and he turned during the first Oktoberfest. So everything else was just Kelly, and that was a fun ride to like discover. So thanks for that, everyone. Yeah, the vibes were good with this group.
What vibes? What energy?
I feel like having Jerry and Leon come in as the new members of our coterie for season 2 also like totally refreshed the show and gave so many new role RP opportunities in amazing ways. And it was just, now I just can't even think of our show without you two. It's awesome.
Thank you.
And on that mushy note, we are going to go on break. We still have quite a few questions left for our second half. And if you're watching us live, make sure you get your questions in, because we might be able to squeeze them in our second half. We will see you in about 10 minutes.
Bye.
And I'm coming in hot with a question. What's a tip you wish you knew before creating a character for a campaign or for the first time? What inspired these characters? Let's start with you, Kat.
I feel like something that I probably got from like playing with Pokemon from a young age was like not knowing the terminology, but like mid-maxing and like being like, I want to make a character, but I want to make a character who can do everything. And then just like figuring out that that's not what D&D is about. And a lot of the times it's about like having flaws and having things that make you rely on other people, which is wonderful. So what I liked about this kind of round was I was like, I'm just going to stick to something easy because I want to focus on having fun and not worrying about a bunch of things I have to keep track of, though I still didn't do a great job at keeping track of that. And yeah, mostly just not worrying about how to play the game the best way, I guess, and just like being a human and having faults. Because I feel like with D&D 2, which has changed a lot, has been like how it's felt like a kind of like a big club, and to join you have to start from scratch, and nobody wants to play with somebody who like doesn't know what they're doing. And now I feel like it's so open and inclusive, and at the end of the day it's just about getting together with some friends and telling stories, and like you learn a lot. I feel like playing characters too, you play characters that like maybe aren't like you, and you're like, hey, that guy's pretty cool. So I've become very close with Dan. I would like to be best friends with Dan and go to the gym with Dan. I could squat Dan.
Ooh.
I mean, Kat, you're really strong in
You are,
real
though.
life, so
Yeah.
it's pretty impressive.
What were you squatting, bro?
Oh yeah, bro.
What do you bench?
Something I find with character creation, or like a tip I would give, is thinking about your relationship with other party members and being intentional with those. I feel like we did a lot of that this season, with D&D, and it worked out so nicely with the story. I found that like exploring those relationships was so juicy, and it fleshed out everyone so well. And that might not be something that you think of as a beginner player, but it really makes a difference. That's
Yeah.
my hot tip.
I think to answer the first part, my tip for making a new character would be don't get like too invested into any particular class or like vampire clan or anything like that. Like play around. If you have a DM who would literally let you like swap classes and stuff mid campaign, that would be awesome, because then you can play all different things. Try support, try healing, try fighting, try fighting harder, try punching a lot and exploding people with your fists. Because if you get like too caught up in like, I've made a cleric and I don't like playing a cleric now, but now I feel trapped because my character is a cleric and I can't do anything, then you're not going to have fun. Just play around with it. There's a reason that modern Dark Souls games let you respec, because it's hard to know what you want to play when you have never played the game before. As for inspiration, my inspiration is buck wild, y'all. My ADHD is like, hey, I just saw a flower. What if I make a character based on that fucking flower? Barrow was like, I was like talking to Shar one night when it was like super cold out, and I was like, do you think that like people up in the like far north ever like saw something big in a snowstorm and thought, what the fuck is that? Like just the silhouette of a thing. And then I'm like, what if I made a entire character who was based around the idea of like causing people in blizzards to think and see different things? So all of Bera's spells were basically either
we
making
did the
snow
zoom in
and
thing again.
ice. Oh,
Sorry.
what? Oh, no.
My camera did the
Hi,
zoom in thing
Rachel.
It's
again.
dramatic.
Let's all get a little bit
No.
closer to make you feel.
Talking about Bera.
I'm just not going to do anything about it. This is just where I'm at now. I'll just lean back. It's fine.
We're listening.
Ooh. So basically, I was like, everything that Bera did, I was like, even playing a blade singer, I was like, what if she danced to cause blizzards? And it was sort of like this buildup of like everybody around her was part of this blizzard, and then she started casting like illusion spells or like mind control spells or like all of these different spells that were either ice based or like mind fuckery. And then I threw a little meta magic in there because I hate myself and love having too many options each round. And I was like, what if all of the sudden a second Bera showed up and cast another spell once in a while? And I never explained why that happens. And then she became a thief because I was like, it's cool to have a wizard that's also a thief because rogues occupy that market too much. Now she's got a wife and kid. Got a lot. I can't make I cannot make a simple character, and I've acknowledged that in myself, and I refuse to try otherwise anymore.
Uh, Funnily enough, my tip was going to be uh, almost a exact opposite energy.
Good.
But
Ooh.
for doing campaigns, there is never any shame in making a character whose growth is less dramatic, less and far more subtle, and is built to be more supportive in terms of narrative role or anything like that. I personally have a tendency to make characters who are often a bit smaller in scope for like goals and ambitions. They often have like one or two things they really want to do, and that's it. And those don't radically shift the world or anything. That's just a thing that would bring them more satisfaction, and that is okay. It is fine to have smaller scale, smaller stakes, and because of those stakes being very small, very personal, those can feel in some ways even more intense when they are at risk, because world like if the world ends, that's the game. The party's over. We gotta get new art assets, and it's expensive. It takes time. But if like my character doesn't get like messes up on a date and like has a breakup, that is a much more personal, smaller scale thing that I may not be able to fix by the end of a party or by the end of a campaign. So like I do think there's fun in sometimes lowered stakes that are way more personal.
I
And
love
that's
that.
it for me.
But if you fuck up a
Yeah.
date, your demon girlfriend might go on a rampage.
Rip your arm off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's pretty high
Exactly.
stakes.
Any other
Um,
tips?
Yeah.
I'm-
Well,
Yeah,
sorry. Go ahead, Em.
Yeah, you
Go.
go.
No, you go.
You said
Oh,
words
okay.
first.
Fine.
I don't know.
There-
All three of us started talking at somewhat the same time, so I genuinely am good. No, you. It's such a Canadian fight.
Canada.
yeah. As
I was
the
gonna
American,
say it.
I'm gonna go. No. Since I'm new to this party, I've not played with these people before. Like I made a character for like a quick little one shot thing, and then for the D&D game, and then I kind of just built off that character. And my go-to character is like inspiration is basically Little Red Riding Hood. If she was a werewolf. Shocker. Yeah, I know. Don't your disappointed nod. Go away, Dare.
Wasn't disappointed. I love how much you have a brand, and I love how much you stick to it. It's amazing and wholesome.
Thank you. And then my inspiration for Jerry, I already told you. I looked up the year. I was like, oh, hey. And then trusted Kelly to make it in, like make Jerry as big or as small as he needed to be to fit the story. My advice for building new characters is keeping it simple, like having some touchstones that you can always go back to. At least
Sorry.
for at
Kelly's
least
face.
yeah. At least for me, like have like it's good for me to have like, okay, so these are the things that my character wants. Jerry was to fight, get drunk, and find a sire. Maybe that's like a distant third. Fight and get drunk are like the two priorities. Waves was a little bit more complicated because like I didn't really know what she wanted, but as soon as Shar gave me Basilisk, I was like, raise Basilisk, be a ranger. Those are the goals. And so yeah, like it's also like if you stick to those touchstones, I find it's fun to see where that takes you and where it leads and where it lends itself in the story. Yeah, that's my 2 cents. Rachel, go.
Okay.
The gain.
I know, yeah. My inspiration for Iris was literally being like, I need to do something the exact opposite from Borba. Genuinely was just like, okay, I've been a large punchy lady this entire first 2 seasons, which I love dearly and will always love dearly, but I needed to branch out. And I think this kind of ties into my tip, which is don't be afraid of more complicated classes, or else you'll never actually get to try them out and find out if you like them. because that was my whole thing, was like, I only know how to be a martial class. I'm gonna do the barbarian where I get mad and I punch shit, and that's all I do, and that's my main thing. But then, like, when I was doing that class, I ended up going into a path that was a bit more of a support class with the ancestral stuff, and I was like, that's kind of sick to be able to protect my friends. That's kind of sick. And then, yeah, so I just kind of went into that. I'm like, how could I just kind of pivot and just kind of go into that to see how that is? And Druid kind of popped up, and I really like elves. I think they're super cool. And then I found out that there was an Eladrin variant, and I'm like, yo, Feywild, that's rad. But then for sure had a chat with Shar, and Shar was like, yeah, make sure druids are really hard to play, so let me know if you have any questions. There's a lot. And I'm like, but then I just was like, you know what, fuck it, no, we're committing. And I had a great time, and there absolutely is a lot to manage. If you have the right group, it shouldn't be an issue. You can learn. Magic users have a lot to manage, but when you learn how to manage it, it's fucking fun as hell. So don't limit yourself just because you're afraid of getting something wrong, because you're learning and you're gonna get it wrong. But that makes for good RP and stuff. So just go for it. That's my tip: is just go for it. If you want to make a really crazy balls to the wall character, just do it.
Just
figure it out on the fly. I don't know. Just have fun with it. It's a game. We're here to have fun.
Whoa. What?
Yeah. What? You don't have to be perfect.
Have you all
right
been having
away.
fun this entire time?
not once in my entire life.
I wasn't aware that was supposed to happen. I made Imogen so long ago now. But she definitely started with the one fact of kind of the same as Rachel with Borba and then Iris. Steve had a 20 intelligence, and I was like, I need someone with a 0 intelligence now. Thank you. I'm tired of RPing smart people. It's hard. It's done. I'm done. I'm done with it. I'm over it. And then, and then just kind of going through the character creation for vampire is a wild thing to do, and I honestly don't know if I ever did it correctly.
There's a wiki now.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, I just wanted to have someone that was like soft after the hard edges of Steve in Revelia in the Wildwell trials. But as for like tips and tricks, I'm also like a keep it simple person. Will I probably put the effort in one day to be super complex and find that I like that more? Probably. If I'm being honest. Me as a person, I always like, whenever I do more work and put more effort into things, I'm like, wow, I like these results more because I put more effort in. And I'm always surprised by that fact every time it happens. And I assume at some point it will be the same for role-playing games. But at this moment in time, I'm a keep it simple person. And yeah, like a 1 or 2 kind of goals. As well as I don't know where I was going with that. So, yeah. Char.
Yeah.
What's a tip? I already did my tip, but my inspiration, Octavia is so far from the inspiration that created her, which is the 2 wacky ghost hunters from Insidious that follow Lynn Shay, whose character name I can't remember right now. Kelly?
Elise,
yes. And that's the thing, is that Octavia actually became Elise more so than the wacky ghost hunters, the one that's very spiritual and able to connect with the other side. I still make cool shit, but and I guess there's another tip, like, don't be afraid to make changes to your character, especially in the first few sessions that you play. As a DM myself, I always give characters and players the chance to change things if they don't like them, especially at the beginning part of a story, which happened with Octavia too. So feel free to do that.
I have a follow-up question. Do you think that dramatic change happened because I didn't facilitate Wacky Ghost Hunter enough for like in Vampire? Or did you just like mold into more of an Elise character?
I think it wasn't that you weren't doing enough. No way, for sure. It was definitely that. I think it was more the voice just didn't lend itself to being weird.
Yeah, being posh British and weird is hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would argue that posh British people are weird. But that's,
The British are weird people, but like,
it's just, yeah.
It's hard for us to say things in our poshest British accent and be like, oh, hello there, we're going to go down and bust some ghosts, even though you literally said that.
Yeah.
Right. I did not get the memo. We were supposed to be posh. So
No, that's just me. That's not everybody.
That's totally cool.
As we
that
learned
you-
last episode, London's big. The city of London
Yeah.
small. Greater London big.
Yeah.
I think it's worth mentioning though that as well is that we are, at least in the context of Tabletop Tiddies, like we are creating characters with the idea of it being a live streamed game, and I think that is also something to keep in mind. That like me personally, I haven't played a home game in real years, so like like I haven't played an RPG for not content in a very long time, so I might find something completely different personally in like a home game setting than the audience is also going to be watching. So I like, but if that makes sense.
I'm playing a mastermind rogue, a half-elf mastermind rogue in my home game. It is the least complicated class I have ever once played, and I'm happy to just like lay back and be like, bonus action, help, shoot the thing with an arrow, help, arrow, and that's all I do.
Yeah, like even in like a one-shot situation, you're gonna make a different character than for.
Oh no.
No, Rachel, you made it so far.
It had to happen.
I think she's gonna say for a long campaign. I heard a little
Hello?
sound.
yeah.
Oh, you're back.
Hello.
Back,
We believed in you.
back.
We believed in you.
Yeah.
We got
Where did you leave?
we got a one shot versus
a long? Okay. Okay. Cool. Long form versus versus one shot, basically. So like long campaign, you're gonna make somebody who your friends want to be around, maybe. For example, for one shots that I just need to pull something out on the fly, I have a really gross necromancer based off of Danny DeVito from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and he's super nasty and.
we love Frank.
Never somebody I will ever play in a full campaign because he's just I don't
can only digest him in small amounts.
You know, like you gotta think for the situation.
God, that's iconic.
We love Frank.
He's
Yeah,
a meme, and
Frank's
I
great.
personally think meme characters should stay for one shots, unless you have that conversation with your table and they're all making meme characters and
Unless
they're all
you're
fine
Sam
with it.
Regal and all of your fucking characters start as a meme and then have the most dramatic character arc.
Yeah, and they're all like super wholesome at the end somehow. It's like there's a way to do it. You just gotta have that conversation.
We got a question from chat. Corbin
Ooh.
Smith asks, what's your fantasy crossover team up or romantic connection between the two games? So I'm assuming this is like Tiddies by Night and Escaping Tessera mixing up mashups. Dare, I got to start with you because you're a resident shipper.
Okay, the thing is, I know people would assume romance would be my go-to. No, I am more than a romantic. I am a comic book nerd. I'm a fan of a crossover. So simple. The classic comic book crossover thing. A villain who is a weird amalgam of two villains from each show. And then we all meet. There is a disagreement that turns into a fight. We realize we are all with the same common goal. And then we fight the baddie. This my comic book loving heart more than any other form of media. I'm
And
a
we all
superhero
kiss.
nerd.
Only
kiss
if
at the
the
end.
villain
Some
we're
kissing can
fighting
happen.
is Sidney Jones.
That is
Sidney
fine.
Jones and Paul.
Go.
Both of those.
I was thinking Dracula with like a bajillion little eye stalks.
Dracula Beholder would be. I mean, honestly, combining the Prince and a Beholder since the prince already has like can just infest the spirit of the city, you could make some stuff happen. But yes, my crossover idea, radically shift the setting to just make it wild superhero stuff. But that's
like
that's
that
what I'm
shit.
gonna say every day.
I
That's
have
good
a, I have a really good one. It's not romance at all, but it's just what I want in my life. I want a one-shot like buddy cop duo with Marge and Marguerite.
Where by the end of it, Char and I are just
writing
bleeding
it.
from the
Yeah,
mouth.
it's gonna happen. Char and Kelly are playing Marge and Marguerite.
And they're just like, we do a one
we
shot where
have
we're
to do
all
it.
different Marges from different universes.
Oops, all Marges.
Oh my gosh.
That is iconic.
Oh my god! It's like it's like our Oops All Santas from last year, but it's Oops All Marges.
My dream. This was my dream.
I wrote in our Zoom chat that I want Leon to meet Dana. And I just want that to be out in the internet because
As big woman? Is that what it is?
obviously.
No, you underestimate. It's not big woman. It is every woman.
That's
Sapphic fool. And I fold at every opportunity.
I mean,
You've come,
lady.
you've come into a chronicle where I have made most of the important characters women in our
That's
vampire
fine.
game.
Yes, you
I
can.
think
Leon's just sitting there being like, this is great for me.
I'm doing well.
Yeah. We
As long as
feasted.
polyamory exists, I'm winning.
Yeah.
I really want Jerry to fight Dan in a like friendly competition.
Friendly competition. No, one of, and then somebody rolls a nat 20 and blows the other up.
Dan
we
can
don't
take
have
a
to-
hit.
Yeah.
She's got like a magical like laser that shoots out of her belly button. She's
True,
fine.
actually. This is valid.
And she can teleport. There's a lot of things Dan can do.
My God, a PvP. I would see a lot of I would see a King of the Hill of all of our characters. That would be awesome.
Brutal.
Or
Well,
round
we-
robin.
I can also bring back Steve because
Well, that's the thing. I was gonna say Evelyn and Steve, but that's basic.
Yeah, It's just the same.
it's the fact that they're both from our last season, so people could be out of the loop.
Yeah, but then also they could have the moment of like Steve being like, darling, what are you wearing?
like, you look like absolute trash. We need to fix your outfit. If Evelyn and Octavia just went, it would be Steve.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Ooh, I thought of a good one. Waverly and Octavia, because they both use blood magic and they're both animal parents. It would be cool
we
to
would get along.
yeah, it'd
That'd
be
be
cool to
sick.
see how their different magic like functions with each other because they're essentially like within the same purview. That'd be cool, but they're like very different people, and it'd be interesting to see how
Yeah.
they communicate about their magic.
I'd be down for that, honestly. To be honest, Waves doesn't know how blood magic works. She just knows that she cuts her finger and shoots the thing. It might be electricity. It might be a fireball. You know, whatever. But yeah, no, that I think that would be very interesting.
Waverly
I didn't
getting
even make
trained
the
by the
connection.
Tremere.
Oh shoot!
Yeah.
Watch me next season. Maybe. I don't know.
Whoa.
I would
Okay, a
just like to-
question. Oh, sorry, go ahead. I was
pick
gonna
up-
move on.
Just pick up Rat and drop him or drop it anywhere
Yes.
in any universe and just
Hell
see what
yeah.
happens.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Okay, I'm done.
We've got a new question from the chat that is too good to pass up, so we got to do it, which is from Teitz the Betrayer. What character would make an amazing guest star to play a character on Tabletop Tiddies? So, like, they would sit at the table with you and roll up a character. And I just have to say, I mean, Iris and Bera are such huge nerds that you know they would come prepared. So that's my suggestion.
Most
I-
DM answer
Yeah.
I've ever heard. These people would know what they were doing.
They're gonna make my life easier.
Whereas I'm like,
They already
Cindy
have
Jones,
3 characters
obviously.
drafted, all ready to go.
I
you
would.
know.
Oh, I
The
would
meta-
love Sidney Jones.
The meta level of like Sydney thinks he's dreaming and now playing a tabletop RPG where he has to play characters within the RPG. Oh boy.
This thing is that would be the best like RP though, because they wouldn't like hold anything back. They'd just be like, it doesn't matter, I'm in a dream.
It doesn't
I'll just
matter.
fucking
Yeah.
It's a dream
I'll
within
just
a
cast
dream.
I'll cast fireball right in front of everyone. It doesn't matter. It'll just wake us up.
For Tessera, it's got to be Phineas, right? Little baby,
Oh
little
my
baby Phineas,
He's just a little guy.
our intern. Can we say intern? Is that appropriate?
I feel like I could
Amazing.
answer this question by like going through each person and like saying what kind of player they would be, but I think that I think Jenny would be the best because she would show up with like a stack of backstory, all these like historical like Greek character references to what their character is going to be. Would have like researched how to play the game so hard because they're like a perfectionist who needs to know how to play this game. And it would be like, all right, guys, let's go. My character's going to go through a journey. Here we go.
I think
Totally.
I think Jenny would be great, but I think she would roll up, like no matter what it was, I think she'd roll up the captain. Like I don't know what the stats are, but she would role play the captain again.
Oh my god.
I think Imogen would be a really good one because I think she'd be so like into like whatever it is. If it's like the weirdest campaign, she'd be like, "Oh yes, I love it. Let's just do it." You know, like that's so creative.
I also think Jerry would be a good one because he's a freaking nerd too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
like if Jerry was playing, I think he'd honestly just be Travis from Critical Role.
Oh yeah, just being
Yeah.
like, can I just be a buff werewolf that punches things?
Yeah.
I imagine Leon would have a very fun arc of like, sure. I'm going to not care until like Leon gets invested, and then suddenly they're giving their like actor performer A game where they're doing immense monologues for no reason, and like that's the arc. First 5 episodes, they would phone it in. By the end, they're making people cry through sheer force of will.
Iconic.
Oh man.
I feel like Evelyn would just not. I feel like Evelyn is such a party pooper that she would not. But then she'd also like feel bad that she said no because she feels like she kind of wants to, but then just like can't like let down the facade of like I don't have time for games. But then she'd be like left out and be kind of salty about it.
Just sitting in the corner with like cloak of
shadows.
shadows.
Yeah, just like trying to help by like like throwing random hints at people, but they don't know where they came from. Like,
Oh man. All right, let's shift on over into our last 2 questions. So this one comes again from Colleen Davis. Thanks, Colleen. There were so many really great moments, both in character relations and in battle. I would love to hear what everyone's most memorable moment was from this campaign. And Kelly, I'm throwing this ball to you for no reason whatsoever.
All right.
It's their mom. If you didn't know, it's their mom.
I'll do vampire first because I know my mom doesn't watch that one. So, honestly, the first 2 episodes of this season for me, because I'm like, it's always like nerve wracking, especially playing with just 3 people on screen, especially people that you've like never really sat at the table with, and having Darren Casper just be buddy cop, and like those 2 episodes went so well and had so many cool moments between the 2 of you that like it sort of like revved me up for the rest of the season. I'm like, oh fuck, this was the best choice. These characters are great. This is going to be amazing, and I love this. And it's sort of like it carried through the whole season of, oh my god, like Char said, like it revitalized this. It not revitalized. We weren't dead. It like.
I mean, that's
That's true. It like it it injected some Red Bull into the season, and that was just such a cool starting off moment for me. And it was so fun to be like that personal with the two of you in those two starting episodes, because it was rather intimate for just three of us on screen. There's like no safety net. My most memorable moment, surprise, surprise, in escaping Tessera was coming out to Waverly. I legit cried. I like saying the words that I said of coming out. Like there were moments where my stomach dropped a little bit when I said a line, and I'm like, come on, pick it up. You can keep going. And it was just so like that was the most connected I've been to an tabletop RPG character. And it was very touching for me, and the responses that you gave I was not expecting and have never heard in my life, so it was just you were just like kicking me in the heart the entire scene, and it was so good.
A supportive friend,
yeah,
you try and rip my heart out with like opening, like with your vulnerability, I'm gonna kick it right back. Okay?
Yeah. You parried my heart and then supered all over it. That's some fighting game terms. There we
go. Yeah, wait. So my most memorable moment from Vampire would be my over success. Yeah, that was a defining character moment. Like I loved the just Leon and I buddy cop, like two sides of the same coin situation that happened to both get shot in the chest, but we handled it very differently. But like that moment of connect, like it gave me an opportunity to make a choice on like how I would that was the first time I was like reacting as Jerry. Before it's just Jerry fights, but like once Jerry fights real good and he like does something bad with his real good fight skills, this English is so amazing, guys. The consequence, like Jerry facing consequences, was a really interesting point for me, and having that relate to the rest of the coterie, especially with like having Imogen, like because I knew my relationship with Leon was going to be like supportive, but having Imogen there and really just that talk to try and like bring me out of it, and then what the consequences meant with Evelyn and by extension Octavia and like the rest of the coterie that way. That was my, again, yeah, that was my character moment. For Waves, what is my moment for Waves? I'm gonna say it's one with Dan. It's either Dan or Iris. It's the talk with Iris about needing, like if I needed help, like with the necklace and everything.
Yeah.
Or the talk with Dan about, sorry, Bera, about wanting to stay, because like both of those moments felt really like equally intense for me.
They're both very important to that character's arc as well. I was gonna say, I was like, if you couldn't pick one, I was like, I know my favorite moment. It was the whole episode with dealing with the blood necklace.
Yeah,
it was so heavy and so intense, and like I don't know if it was like you just like letting real emotions out or if it was performance. It was so riveting. You just straight up being like, yeah, I need help. Like I was like, yo, I am invested right now. So powerful.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think one of my favorite bits was definitely again, I of course, I loved having, I don't think I've ever had a best friend in a campaign before, mostly because a lot of the D&D campaigns I've played before were like oh, you meet at a bar and then the tavern, and then there's the quest and you band together and now you're friends for some reason. Dire situations. But coming into this with already like prior relationships that had already formed with like backstories and stuff like that, I had such a good time, especially I feel like Casper and I coming in as the new people for this season. It was nice to see how we played together, and I had so much fun. You were so awesome to play off of. So all of those moments were wonderful for me. Definitely, I can't believe, Char, you didn't plan this, but you kind of made it happen. But the fact that you put the captain and Dan in a side quest in an episode was one of the most deranged things that's ever happened. Like, usually you pick like if we're gonna go and do this thing, like we're gonna go into this town that's already been infiltrated, like let's have somebody with like high charisma, intelligence, and then we'll have like the strong dummy on the side, just a good mix. Somebody talks, somebody's the muscle,
Yeah.
Nobody has charisma. None of us have high charisma. It doesn't matter who you choose. We all suck at this.
Yeah.
But that was probably the worst and the best pairing somehow. It was so bad. But
roommates was so good.
Oh, good.
I need more of them in my life. Oh my god.
that was chaos, but I enjoyed it very much.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, I'm trying to think of like one D&D moment because I feel like there were so many that I loved so much. Obviously, Iris and Bera's like moment where they were like, "Oh, like you" and stuff was very emotional, and I'm very happy how it turned out because that was like building up to a lot.
I'm so sorry. I like you and stuff. Very emotional.
It's very wholesome.
Genuinely, I feel like she bumbled over her words enough that it basically came to that, but she was like a lot more sincere about it. I think there were a lot in D&D. I feel like my first time using Wall of Thorns was such a fucking badass moment.
Yo.
I just can't not. I just felt so cool. Also, the Remoraz using heat metal when Bera like went down, I was just like, "Don't fucking touch my girlfriend, you bitch! You son of a bitch!" There's so many like for a healer, I just felt like I was able to do some really badass stuff that actually helped and did damage, and I was really happy with those moments.
Very vengeful healer.
Yeah, right? And then also like creating Willow was like a very emotional and like wonderful moment for me, and then it just made saying goodbye that much harder at the end. So all of those things, I feel like I'm just really happy with how Iris turned out because I got a lot of cool stuff and I was very happy with it. So thank you, Char, for helping me make those things happen.
It's all you. It's all you.
You helped because you made space in your story for her story. Evelyn, I have a very specific moment that I think was the moment for her in this season, and that was the heist in the prison and her diablerizing for the first time, maybe the only time, who knows? That's genuinely kind of the thing that I want to leave open-ended, though, because that is such a huge thing to do in Vampire the Masquerade, and taking that leap and doing that unspeakable thing for vampires, like killing another and taking their powers on, is such a thing that was kind of against her thing for a while, because she's very much I only hurt those that are deserving, so this bitch really deserved it. So that was the only reason why she was okay with doing it. But then I also know that in the lore, it's also kind of an addictive thing to do because you get extra power. So I'm kind of curious to see that what consequences that could I don't know. It's such a cool thing. Yes. In the Zoom chat.
Stop.
Kelly Wright, the good suck. But yeah, it was a really intense moment. There was a lot of, what is my coterie going to think about me after I do this thing? And then I got cool powers out of it. And then nobody hated me. So that was cool. Everything turned out great, and there are no consequences to doing this ever again. So what the hell, right?
And now
Abundance
there
of
are bees.
And now there are bees.
My favorite, I think, it's such a hard question, especially like I feel like there are so many memorable moments. Like I could go through and say like a memorable moment with each character, kind of a thing for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think everything with Dracula was just absolutely delicious, like just great. But I think it's I'm gonna be selfish with my answer and say my goodbye poem.
That almost made me cry.
I definitely teared up.
I
I'm
cried.
not gonna lie.
Right.
Yeah, because I did take a bit of a step back from the poetry this past season.
It's okay. Everybody else picked it
yeah.
up.
Yeah.
I was like, everyone else got it. I don't need to do it anymore. I'm closing Rhyme Zone. I don't want to do it anymore. So,
also
reopening Rhyme Zone and writing that long ass poem was.
I think it made sense for Imogen to do that, though, especially like knowing you had other priorities going on as well, because it was cool to have it come back as a goodbye. Definitely, it was a very, very cool moment.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be selfish with my memorable moment and be like, my moment was my most memorable.
I interpreted this as like, my own, like a moment that I myself am really proud of as a player. And I want to say this, the sword fight between Leon and Evelyn.
So
Right! Oh my god!
I don't know how I forgot it. I don't know why I picked one moment from TBM, because that one was definitely up there. Yeah.
That one was, I think, a masterclass of a lot of things. Of Kelly trusting us as players, of just the getting to continue the energy we had even on my guest spot, of just like the sheer energy that Leon and Evelyn have bouncing back and forth, and being able to it was very quick-witted combined with very vivid descriptions of action. It was like a very fun way of combining and showcasing I think some of the things we do well. And it was very fun for me to showcase a argument I was having in which I was on the back foot almost the entire time and like still managing to do that in a way that felt I think interesting for everyone involved and still felt like it was exciting to watch. It was fun to lose in a way that looked cool.
Yeah, one of the goals going into the next season, I wanted to explore more this season, but I feel like the end of the season really got overlapped by Dracula and a bunch of really heavy stuff, is I really want to see more of Leon and Evelyn's relationship in the next season.
Yeah.
And explore more of their connection, both like now and in their past.
Yeah, Evelyn's been so goddamn busy with harpy shit, so it's kind of cool that the camera is not a thing right now.
Yeah.
Spoilers if you haven't seen the last episode.
Why are you here if you haven't?
Yeah, like, you got this far?
Whoa.
What?
Sara, what's yours? Did you say yours?
I didn't.
Oh.
I've been thinking there's so many awesome moments. For Tiddies by Night, though, I really love the arc of the Banshee and the Doulahan, especially because of how surprised I was by the ending of that. It's not often that Kelly gives us free premonitions, and that one was so bad for Octavia and like really changed her course for the second half or whatever of that season, which was really, really cool. And for Escaping Tessera, I just loved how much everyone was reacting to Paul in the first few episodes, which totally changed. I like incorporated the player feedback heavily because of that into the rest of the campaign.
Right,
And
because
like,
we were like, fuck Paul. He screwed us over. And it's like, well, I guess he's a bad guy now.
yeah, I guess he's in the game. Yeah. So
Hey,
that
maybe
was
respect
awesome.
women, Paul.
Yeah.
Lady.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Does anyone else have other
Tabletop
ones
Tiddies
before?
does not have any bias against anyone named Paul at all. I feel like
No.
that was a lot of aggression towards
Just Paul, the character in
Just
our
all the
Buttons on
kids.
campaign. Yeah.
Any other highlights before I go to our last question?
I could list every scene.
Every
in
single
both-
scene.
I can list every single scene, but also I will be another selfish one and Imogen kissing Trev.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a great
That's a good
one.
one, yeah.
Also,
For
because
sure.
it took me a solid 30 seconds to like build myself up to say it, and it was just like silence, and I was like, you know what has to be done. You have to do it, and I did it.
You did it.
Well,
I
Emily,
actually did
you've
fuck
gotta do it again with this last question. Don't have to kiss anybody, but you do get to hold the ball for this, which is there going to be a season 4, and when/how does this happen? What can we do to assist? And this is from Lance Shantz.
Well, friends, you're never getting rid of the titties. I don't think. I think titties are here to stay.
We're hanging around.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know.
We're
Don't
bolted
mind
right
me.
on there.
Answer the question.
Okay, yes. There will be at this point. I think there's lots of scheduling happening behind the scenes. Doodle polls have been sent out, and scheduling is
And
trying
ignored.
And ignored.
Shit.
And
I
ignored.
answered it, okay?
I know we all
Although
did
you're
it.
the best
I
of
don't
us. We all know that.
know. Good Sarah's not here when we're talking about scheduling because she would die.
We just decided when we're doing all of this on stream.
We do have, I will say, we do have lots and lots of bonus content being planned for our like for our like season break that's going to be happening. Is starting in about 20 minutes or so after we finish some Stars and Wishes after we sign off. So lots of bonus content coming your way. I think the last couple seasons we took like 3 or 4 months off in between each, kind of, sort of.
Oh my god, that gives me plenty of time to find a place to stay.
Hey, yeah, yeah.
Life.
So in the meantime, like, make sure you're following Tabletop Tiddies on all the social media and everything. There's lots of exciting things being planned. That is kind of how all I have for like the when it isn't up in the air right now. It is, but wheels are in motion. There.
Gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
We just don't know when
Can't get
it's
rid of
coming.
us.
We don't know when. We don't know what the concept is for season that come like for
Yeah.
D&D. We don't know yet, but it's gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Titties by Night is eternal, so eternally
Vampires don't die, guys.
vampires don't die. So
I will always be.
I mean,
What's
you
your name,
did eat
Tanita?
one.
God, we've raised
You're with me
Tanita.
Giovanni
around.
also died as well. There's actually quite a few, but it's fine.
Literally anybody I punched kind of exploded, so...
That's
Okay. But yeah, so make sure you're following us on all things. What can you do to assist is keep on liking and resharing posts and stuff, spreading the good word of Tabletop Tiddies.
Spread in the news.
Sorry, I just had it in my head.
Oh no, the Casper.
Are you frozen? Okay, not frozen.
Whoa.
I'm just like,
Oh,
I'm
I thought they
shivering
were
in
just eternal
anticipation of this
thinking.
joke.
Like, what?
The good word
back.
of.
Oh, sorry. Oh, no, I stopped.
Wait,
Everybody froze. I just didn't know.
Okay.
This is
You're back
chaotic.
now.
Yes, we're coming back. When? Unknown at this point in time. We'll sneak up on you like that.
We'll let you know.
There will be an
how-
Indiegogo as usual, so
Yeah.
that's a great way to support. It helps us pay for art and whatnot. So we'll let you know when that happens.
In the meantime, there's always Patreon is a great way to support the Tiddies. There's lots of bonus content up on there, as well as there'll be some extra questions that we didn't have time to get to tonight up there. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
I
Rachel,
would
do that
do
thing.
I would do all of that. You did most of it.
Okay.
So I'm going to say thank you all very much for joining us for this and our season because we really appreciate it. Seriously, we literally would not be here if it wasn't for you. So thank you very, 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 very much. Yeah, like Emily said, if you do enjoy the content and you want more, you can go over to the Patreon and support us there, and you will get VODs of all of our bonus content. Some of it will be exclusively on there. Maybe we won't stream some of it. Maybe we will, and then the VOD just stays over there once it goes away on Twitch. We don't know. We'll decide when we do it. Lots of bonus stuff there. You'll get a lot of questions that we didn't get to answer. All that good stuff. Yeah, we also have merch. That's another way you can support us. So tabletoptiddies.threadless.com.
Oh my god, Kelly.
You had it ready. You had it
Sorry.
ready to go.
Did you not see
Yeah.
me wildly looking all over the
I
place?
did. I saw that.
I didn't see it. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. You had it ready there the entire time. I will not accept anything otherwise. But yeah, you can get stuff. You get blankets, you get shirts, hoodies, all that good stuff. We do have a new holiday line up. So if you want cool TD's Christmas merch to give to your loved ones, or just buy it for yourself because who doesn't want Christmas sweaters? Get on over there and buy it because yeah.
I seriously thought you were gonna say Christmas titties.
One
Why
says,
not?
"We wish you a titty Christmas."
It does.
And the other one says, "Deck the halls with all D20s." They
It's
don't
great.
sing for you. That's just me. Just you
That's an Emily
Yeah.
special right there.
know. Welcome.
Feel blessed.
Find more at patreon.com. No, I'm kidding. Don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, other than that, you should go, follow us on social medias, all of the social medias. We will let you know when we are planning to do all of these bonus content, one-shots, and our next season. All of the updates you can find there. Kat and myself will be hanging out there. You can talk to us. And obviously, still do the hashtag TT Tiddies because you can get NPCs named after you. We do one shots. We're gonna have more seasons. We're gonna need NPCs. So start logging your NPCs now because you got lots of time to get those in. All right. I think that's everything. You can find all of our info on our website at tabletoptiddies.com. And just remember, when we say titties, it is always with double D's. We'll see you sometime soon. We'll let you
Yes.
know.
So much
There's gonna
cat
be
hair.
a holiday
Yeah.
one shot.
Yes.
There
So
will
that's
be.
very exciting. And
Hey.
follow us on socials to find out the exact date for that. But for
Yeah.
now, we're gonna raid someone. So give them some titty committee support, and we'll
Dork
see you next time.
Tales. One last time. Dork Tales.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Bye.
Bye.